Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome in for your first look at this brand new all-American map by Nitro Dad 115 Susquehanna River Valley. Another amazing map. This is a 4X PC exclusive map for Farming Simulator 19. This map is seasons ready, precision farming ready, and has been prepared for the straw harvest mod. No global companies are required. However, there are some companies that come available with this map as well. This multi-fruit map that's based on the topography from the Susquehanna River Valley in upstate New York has quite a bit to offer, and we're going to go through it all here in just a sec. So stick around. Make sure you stick around to the end. We have quite a few things to talk about on this, guys. So let's go to it. Let's take a look, our first look at Susquehanna River Valley. Let's go. Oh boy, so let's start off with the PDA. You're gonna be looking here. This is the map. It's a 4X map, of course, with 141 technically fields. 140 are named, technically 141, however, that are listed. There you go. So up at the top right-hand corner, you're going to find that is the main city site. You also have a town site over on the very far west side of the map. There are also some industrial districts or industrial areas that kind of encompass the whole map itself. There are 4 main farms. We're going to start by looking at each one of these farms. Now, each one of these farms, guys, is fairly unique. This one here is a little bit more modest, for example. While down here in the river bottom, folks, in the flats, there is a more extensive farm by far. This is a massive farm, but of course, prices do reflect that. And also, a couple of these farms are a little bit more spread out. For instance, this one here has the pigsty that's up on the hillside. Well, through the trees and down a little bit, that is the main part of the farm. And while they are all somewhat different, each one of these farms does have cattle operations available. However, the rest is a little bit different. Some have sheep, some have pigs, some have horses. So there is that difference between all these farms as well. Of course, each farm will have its own silo system pre-built. And as well, each farm will have a fillable fertilizer tank, just like this one here, that you can fill fertilizer in. And here's the last farm, like I was speaking of. We have the pigsty down below. Up on top is the main farm here. And the other kind of similarity between all these farms, guys, is just the actual size of the cow pastures. That's something you're going to notice right away with this map as well. The cattle pastures are massive. Every single one of them has a massive cattle pasture, just like this one here. The big farm, the larger operation down in the main valley below, that one there is kind of ridiculous how big it is. I mean, this does feel like a real cattle operation. Just look at this. You got 3 stalls plus the milking station right behind us there. Just an absolute massive field for your cattle. Now, folks, the way the farms are set up on this map, I'm going to recommend you go with new farmer mode on this playthrough. I don't typically recommend new farmer mode on most of my playthroughs just because I would much rather build my own farm. However, these farms are all pre-built. You're going to be wanting to use one of these farms, and there's a certain way to get each one of them, and we're going to need to talk about that later on. So stay tuned for the end, where we'll kind of go through, well, progression, playstyle. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit near the end. Now, like I mentioned, this is a multi-fruit map. There are a couple different crops that you may not be used to, so we're gonna have to dive into that. Also, field sizes. Let's look at that as well. So as for field sizes, I would say that majority of the fields on the map are on the smaller side. I mean, we do have 140 some fields on the map, most of which, well, 60, 57, 58, you can see around here. These are not massive fields. These are them right here. You can see definitely not huge fields, but definitely give you an option to buying maybe a small parcel. And of course, they can be made into larger fields, because when you buy, you're buying a whole section. You don't buy typically one field. There are a couple instances where you just buy one field. However, most of the time, you tend to be buying more than one. It seems like a lot of these fields are bulked together when you make the purchase. Now, for the larger fields, 110, 111, 107, 108, these are definitely a little bit bigger. However, by a 4X map standard, I don't think these are large fields by any means. They're definitely big. I would say they're more on the medium size for most. I don't think these are massive fields. They're a good size. You're gonna get your work cut out for you with each one of these, but none of them are absolutely massive. There's no 300-acre fields or anything along those lines. I'd venture to guess that these are closer to the 100-acre, maybe a little less, maybe 70, 80-acre field size. But these are the biggest fields on the map. Now, as for our multi-fruit, guys, of course, we have all our regular crops. We got pig food, of course. And then we move into alfalfa hay, carrots, onions, hops, cabbage, red cabbage, spelt rye, compost, and then millet, triticale, and poppy. So those are some of the other ones. Now, there are some company stuff in here we need to talk about, because there's not a lot. This is actually tamed down from some of the other maps Nitro's done, but there are a few other things, such as, well, flour, we've got apples, and I think it's sugar here. Now, those there, guys, are all a 2-step process. So, for instance, for flour, we're going to bring our wheat or other grains over to the flour mill here. That's going to make us flour. And then from there, you'll take your flour down to the bakery here, and that's where you'll finally sell it off. So it's a two-step process. Also, at Crystal Sugar here, you can either sell your sugar cane or sugar beets, or you can have them turned into sugar over on the left and dump them on this side where they will turn it into sugar. And from there, you will load up from this trough right here. Then you will take it and sell the sugar to, well, for instance, the soda factory down right here. Like I said, two-step process. Now, speaking of sell points, like I said, there's multiple sell points around the map, even out in the countryside, such as the central grain here, or even down in this industrial district down over in this area down here. However, they don't have the same prices that you'll get from the main city. So typically, if you're going to want to get the best prices, the map has been set up so that you need to come up to town in order to sell off your product, because the prices are typically best in the city versus out in the countryside, simply because of transportation time. Also on the map has a pre-built orchard, guys. This is, I believe, $10,000 on normal difficulty. You add some water, you add some manure to each one of these trees, and you're going to get apples out of these that you can sell off. Relatively cheap way to make product or a profit pretty quickly without a lot of work. You look at this map, the PDA, once again, folks, you can see, well, the main city site is up on the hillside over here, where all your farms are all located down in this area down below here. So it is quite a drive to get up the city, and the prices reflect that. So we do need to talk about, well, since we're talking transportation, the highway system, because this is one of the main features of this map, is this massive highway system. It doesn't circle the map, but it connects the two different town sites, the city and the town site, together, as well as some of the industrial areas, such as the one we're coming up to on our left here. This highway, guys, it does not circle the whole map. Know that. You'll still need to take some back roads and some secondary roads in order to get to your farms, but this here, you'll be taking a lot of highway just to get back and forth to sell grain, to sell products. I hope you like driving, because you got some driving ahead of you. Now, while I say there's no way that goes around it, there is one of the highways that does cut right through the middle, at least, as well. This is kind of the direct route between both the city sites. So this one here is pretty quick. You got a quick hill climb to go back up on top. And then once you get up here, you cross the bridge and you're pretty much back into the city. So that is a little bit quicker, but there are other routes around the map on the outskirts. It just doesn't go all the way around. Now, we've shown off the farms. You've seen a ton of custom buildings on there. However, the cities also have a ton of custom buildings. In fact, there's actually quite a few, well, that you're able to just walk in on. You can actually go into a lot of these buildings, a lot of these sell points, a lot of these businesses, and interact inside of them. For instance, one of the best examples is the shop. This is a custom shop. You're not going to see this anywhere else. This is, well, where you're buying equipment. Tractor World. This is awesome. There's actually tractors inside. You can get in here and go on and peruse to your leisure at some of the equipment. There is a lot of options in here, of course. And then off the outside, you've got, well, the repair bay. So this is very interesting. I mean, there's just a lot of detail done in here. Once again, kind of notorious for Nitro Dad with his shops. Another well-done shop. In fact, this map also includes the sales mod. So if you're looking for equipment to go on sale, you're going to find it here at the shop. It's going to pop up and tell you it's on sale. So let's talk about why I thought you should start with New Farmer Mode. If you want to play through this map, I'm going to recommend you play with New Farmer Mode for a couple of different reasons. First of all, if you start with New Farmer Mode, this is the farm you're going to start with. This is it. You have a house, you have a garage, you get a truck, and you do have a tractor over at the shop. It's a Massey with a fertilizer spreader. So you start with next to nothing. You got no land, zero. I mean, you have a grass front yard, and that's pretty much it. So the decision becomes, what do you do with this? This is all you got. You don't really have a lot of money to play with. There's nothing you can really buy at this point in time. So you have options. You can either A, start doing some contract work for, well, somebody interesting. I don't know who wants to do contract work for this guy, but you can start doing contract work right off the bat and make a little bit of cash that way. Or, second option, possibly, maybe sell this house. So you could go in, you could sell the property, and you're going to find that the value of this property is actually quite high. I mean, it makes sense. It's a town, in a city town property. You can get rid of this, and you're going to find that it's worth, well, what, $659,000 on normal mode right now. So that will give you enough money to buy, well, one of the smaller farms, such as this one here, and a little bit left over so you can buy some equipment as well. But if you want to buy something bigger, such as this massive cattle operation, you're going to be looking well over $1 million. So you may want to save up a little bit for this. It's going to take a little bit of work. And of course, last of all, I do need to show off the animal purchase point, as it's, well, it's an auction house. Yeah, that's awesome. Love it. So good. So folks, that's the ins and outs of Susquehanna River Valley. There's our first look at this new map, this 4X US style American map. Make sure you guys go download this when it comes available. It should be this week. Later on this week, we'll have the link in the description. Of course, you can always come over to our Discord channel. We've been posting the link for it there as well. You can download it off of our Discord channel. So make sure you go down in the description. You should find a link for the Discord down below there. Another amazing map by Nitro Dad. Absolutely loving it. This is great. Give this a shot. Show him some support as well. Go buy the guy a coffee if you really enjoy his stuff, because he puts a lot of effort into this stuff and just keeps on getting better and better. So once again, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, slap that like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. This is Klutch. Over and out.